And game number 3 is really going to be Black Forest. Okay, so I guessed it correctly, that it could be that kind of map, as RFRs have used it in RTS League against strong teams. But as I said just after that, CZs are actually very capable Black Forest players, so I don't think it's going to be that useful. And especially because CZs are playing quite fun strategies and aggressive ones. So I definitely expect Aztecs from them. And follow your mind, yes, I think that's actually the player I have seen use it in the past games in RTS League. It's going to be definitely Siege Mongrash. Most definitely, as we are already looking at some Willy fighting, that seems to be going... It will be going better for Follow Your Mind, because he's having more units in there. Just another Fogo 4 altogether. Seems to be that actually Follow Your Mind really does have a bit more of an advantage. And is he going to be falling right next to his TC, like literally, really? I hope not. That's definitely gutsy. Right now it's going to be a bit of a help by Spaden. So unfortunately Follow Your Mind is going to be finding himself in a bit tough situation, as Yannick is hurrying up as well to help him. Yeah, right now it's going to... That was just... He literally wanted to wall basically his TC off, like on some kind of weird nomad or such. But yeah, that was a bit too brave, as another villager is going to be coming through for Follow Your Mind. That was Purple Scout. Too far, good micro by CZs. Another villager is going to be definitely helpful. Oh well, this is very interesting, actually very important battle. You can see even Bullet sending some extra units in there, extra villages, to actually stop this. And Follow Your Mind is definitely asking for the and yeah, they're already asking for that, because they're already seen that this was going absolutely horrible for RFRs. And this is what I absolutely hate about Vetos without any reason. Because this was supremely well played by CZs. And why they should be punished for it by a restart. This is what I absolutely hate about Vetos in Age of Empires. They just don't make any sense at all. Well, shame. But it's going to be a in here. Game. Back into it, into another version of Black Forest. As you also need to turn off the music. And we are gonna be looking at, yet again, some attempts to actually annoy the opponents. This time it's going to be a bit different, it's going to be different players. Skull is going on the right side, apparently going to be having a bit easier time against Dark Levi's, as Bullet is right about now in the pocket, so he doesn't have to go with this for a bit. And Europe, the veto was because Bullet screwed up. Bullet messed up the fight for the walls against Follow Your Mind, and that's why they called veto. So basically CZs were heading into victory and, well, Sweden got saved by a nonsensical rule, to be honest. But yeah, we are in here, as we are going to be having a similar situation on the left. Mango underestimated the situation in here, so is it going to be CZs calling it back? Not sure, definitely could be happening, but so far there are not really any kind of really fights, as they are just going to be trying to drop the walls as soon as possible. Of course, already this is going to be a bit of an advantage for Spaden, as he was slightly closer to there and was able to get this very crucial hill for himself. And it's gonna be, of course, not that much of an issue, as there's still plenty of room for the purple player, or rather for the teal player, but in the meantime he might be getting a bit of an advantage in the middle, but the Wolfie is there. He does have loom, so he's going to be safe from that. And of course, with the extra help that he's getting from Follow Your Mind, it's going to be just a bit too easier for him to put a proper wall and get himself this position on the map. But he needs to click on all of them, exactly as he's doing, to basically deny any kind of opportunity for the opponents to push forward and push back. Oh, well, unfortunately, it didn't fully, but still it's gonna result into that scout as well, probably. This is gonna be interesting. I'm right now thinking that Mango should be walling around. Yeah, he's gonna be trying to hit it. Well, that was unfortunate right now for Mango. I think that he should be really coming back, trying to hit it at least once, so that it is basically closed. Right now it's not, as one of the villagers is gonna die, because Follow Your Might is back, but so is Bullet. Scout is dead. Oh, this is bad for CZ, so is it going to be then calling it? They cannot. They already cannot, because we are past 4 minutes, so they will have to play with it. They will have to play with it, and that means that extra villages are gonna be sent in, which is gonna result, of course, right now, in Spaden having to retreat, and that is the problem. Why I was thinking that Mango should have even sacrificed the villager to basically make sure that he cannot come back. Right now he can, he does have loom as well, so the Wolfie doesn't matter, and he would have been able, and he will be ensured to actually kill 2 villagers. Right now it seems like that he's going to be quite adventurous, even coming forward with the Willy in there. And with the Eagle Warrior. He has already killed one of the villages, so it's 1 for 1 basically in here on this side of the map. As on the right, there wasn't really all that much major happening. Just Skull not having any kind of opposition from his opponents, so yep, he was quite happy with how it went for him. Not any kind of huge investment, and he is quite safe. It's going to be another wall from him. He could be probably a bit adventurous and go in here. And maybe, just maybe even block even the path in there. It would be quite risky. I'm not sure if it's actually worth it in this game. Those two wolfies would be kind of annoying. But yeah, still, it would be some kind of option. And right now, the scouts by Yannick. And of course, oh well, careful Skull. They are going to be encountered by the scouts from Slaktarn. And of course, his teammate, Dark Levi's. But they have the extra villager. So that's gonna be a bit more better going for CZs. So well finished on the left. Are they going something for something a bit more different? Apparently not. They seem to be content with going home with the remaining villagers. Yeah, they are already coming home in there. So that seems to be it for the early action. And right now, let's wait 20 minutes for the real action to begin. But that means, of course, that there are 40 villages, or rather 40 villages, what I was wanting to say. I'm not sure. I have absolutely no idea why I said 40. But anyway, the civilizations are going to be a bit different, it seems like. Because, well, a lot different. CZs are going for Aztecs, Teutons, Mongols and Spanish, whereas the opponents are having the Mongols and Spanish Aztecs, but they are having Celts in there. So Celts versus Teutons. Usually Celts are considered pretty good civilization for Black Forest. So I'm fairly certain there's going to be some special plan for CZs behind the Teutons. Maybe resistance to the monks from Aztecs? Maybe, who knows? Could be some kind of idea from them. But of course, it's going to be a civilization that could be providing potentially paladins in the later stages. So yeah, it's not a bad choice. And if they have some kind of idea behind it, why not? I'm kind of thinking it could be really a combination of Follow Your Mind going for Aztec Siege Monk Rush and being basically backed up by Teutons with their resistance against the enemy monks. They are definitely going to be coming from Slaktarn as well. So, well, yeah, that's some kind of idea that I'm having right about now as the villages are in the middle. We're trying to basically finish with the walling as they did. And I'm going to be apparently moving into the hunt on the left side. That's gonna be Milt most definitely, because it's quite far away. And it will be quite inefficient for him otherwise. So a few villages are going to be trickling in. So far Yannick, Slaktarn and Follow Your Mind. So Slaktarn and Follow Your Mind at basically the same time, both Aztecs. Slaktarn 26 villages, Follow Your Mind 25. So Slaktarn is going to be one villager better off. Right at the start of the game, the wall has been finished in the middle in here, and I definitely would have liked if actually CZs were a bit more adventurous and went for some walling in there, because looking at the map spawn, which they know about, the trade route is gonna be kinda tricky for them, for the opponents. I'm not exactly sure where they are gonna establish it, if it's gonna be from here, this part of the map, into all the way to the top. If it's going to be a bit different, like from this position next to red and all the way into the corner. That could be a bit more efficient for them. For the Sweden, whereas for CZs, it seems to be basically given from this position next to the stone mine and all the way across the bases, all the way up, somewhere about here, or here. Yeah, it seems to be a pretty decent trade route for them. And they don't really have any choke points in there, it has to be said. This can be easily deleted later in the game. They are having a really very wide venue. Very wide venue indeed. This is going to be superb trade route for the CZs. Good map for them. Really good map. Much better than for the opponents. They are going to be having some problems in there, I think. Well, this is not a bad choke point, but still it's going to be having to go around. And potentially could be a bit trickier, shorter. Let's see. It's gonna depend how actually they are going to be placing their buildings all around. Anyway, we are right now looking at players clicking even into Castle Age. That's going to be Yannick as the very first one, as the Mongol. Definitely hurrying into the next age as fast as possible so that he can boom as fast as possible, with already some secondary row of walls coming up from Slaktarn. This is definitely preparing for walling if his opponent, or rather if his ally, is gonna get killed. Which is absolutely not out of the question, because apparently the Teutons are in here. So I'm slightly thinking that maybe even blue could be coming through this way. I'm not exactly sure what they're gonna choose, CZs. If they're gonna push through the left or through the right with the Aztecs. Maybe you'll be slightly more liking on the right side against Dark Levi's, as he is going to be a bit more susceptible to some kind of problems. because on the left is going to be Spaden, and well, Spaden is a pretty experienced player, and even though Dark Levi's is not really bad at all, still, he is probably gonna be a bit better capable of defending against the monks with this micro. He should be having a bit better micro than Dread, I'm thinking. Anyway, Stonewall going to be coming into the middle, because he needs to protect this part of the map, as it's quite dangerous, as it will lead to both the right side and the left side of RFRs. As you are gonna be looking at the castle ages from Bullet as well. Follow your mind, Slugtarn, so everybody just basically the same gameplay. As right now it's going to be follow your mind, actually advancing slightly faster. Slugtarn 30 villages, follow your mind 27. So he's falling back in the economy, but he probably doesn't mind all that much, it seems like. He just wants to be as fast as possible with his attack onto the enemy. Good idea. Of course, as it's all about speed, and blue is already on the left. Alright, so it's going to be full on push on the left, and I'm right now curious if he's gonna go through into Spaden, or into the mid. Into the bullet. Interesting indeed. But Spaden does have a way through. If he wants to escape, there is a way through if he's blocked on the right. Stonewall already coming up, of course, so far on the bottom as well, and he does have the outpost in there, so he will at least see if he's under pressure by the opponent. Well, of course, Mango is gonna do the same, because it's a very valid and good idea to know what your opponent is gonna do. So monastery down, you should be seeing houses and some more monasteries, and of course some extra siege works. Boso for him, so that he has enough wood for all the siege that is gonna be coming up. And second row of walls, quite interestingly, a bit further away. Not exactly sure what's the idea behind it, why it's not actually being plastered next to the palisade wall, but he probably wants to be a bit of a secret, because if he places it like this, it might lead the opponents think that actually there's just one row of walls. Let's switch into, for example, Dark Levi's. He shouldn't be really seeing the second row. Yeah, he doesn't. That is exactly the start here. And that's exactly out of the line of sight. And this is the reason, this is the sole reason why he's actually not doing this. Or not doing the same as Dark Levi's, as he's right now losing the villager. Quite nicely to this scout hidden by Yannick. Nice snipe right there. Because this is gonna be a huge surprise if they think they can basically amass army push through here, and they will be denied, and it will make stuff all that easier. And you can see that Skull is doing absolutely the same here at the bottom, but it's going to be discovered by the castle from the Spanish player. Not gonna be a surprise anymore in there. Anyway, we are looking at monastery on the right side from Skull. And siege works. Oh well, are actually Teutons going to be used as well? Basically the same as Aztecs. That's some kind of idea. Why not? I guess why not? Because monks heal from 2 times the distance. It's not like it matters all that much. But much more importantly, they are having basically all of the upgrades. That's a bit more important when you are talking about using monks. Yeah, just missing, of course, herb medicine, which doesn't matter at all. So they're having good monks, and apparently they're gonna do the same as on the left as on the right. Well, that's gonna be fun, as castle is already dropped. Really just trying to get through the walls. Of course, that there are going to be a few petards, and it seems like that the walling is, yeah, going to be reinforced. But is it going to be fast enough? Because he could be fully expecting some petards here. If he gets 2 petards, he's gonna be through very soonish. Even maybe soon enough to deny the stone wall. Stone wall number 2 is gonna be finished quite alright. There is a path through. It's not any kind of problem for the Swedish. As on the right, they are already working on the gate, as they are gonna be hoping that they can actually push through here as well, CZs. So, wall almost finished. Doesn't really matter all that much that it's not all the way through. As of course on the left, yep, this is just basically showing you exactly why CZs did it. Because Dark Levi's was thinking that actually this is going to be free to go through. But yeah, that is definitely not the case. Definitely not the case, and a bit of a subterfuge in there from CZs. But they should be continuing with another row of walls. Yep, or it is going to be coming through, but of course with those Conquistadors, not gonna be that simple. Maybe, just maybe, give another ground in here. It's gonna be fine for him. Yep, there is no way through for you. So pushing forward already with the Mangonel, with some monk already coming up as well. As we are looking at wheelbarrows being researched for both Follow Your Mind and Skull. As on the left side, we are looking at some just sheep. for a bit of scouting, but they are already through, of course, in the middle as we expected, and of course they are through much sooner actually than the opponents expected, and they have stopped the wall on the right, and already Conquistadors are in the middle, and this is, well, step 1 of incoming disaster for RFR, because of course once they cannot finish the wall in, and they are going to be just waiting here, the monks, for the poor villager, who is probably gonna attempt the wall here right now, I'm thinking, maybe even here, this is a good choke point. But of course the monks already been there. Or are they gonna be there? Ah yeah, this one is gonna be staying. But it's still looking like the purple is gonna be finishing with the wall in here. Unfortunately blue is not seeing this. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks for him indeed. And for his team overall, because of course it's gonna mean that those conquistadors are going to be probably the only one who are gonna be pushing through all that easier. All that easy. Follow your mind already in the Imperial Age. As the very first one, having just 1 and 1 as far as Monastery and Siege Workshop goes, but it's going to be pretty much alright. Yeah, exactly as you say, Europe. This is a very effective push, and with those guys already being up, barracks being built in the middle, it's going to be switched apparently into maybe Eagles. Yeah, probably Eagles, I'll be thinking, what else? Eagles, and it's going to be taking just 1 petard to get fully into Spaden, and since Spaden is not really ready for anything at all, he's probably gonna be dropping some first castle here, I'll be thinking, right about now. Well, apparently not yet. On the right, the push through is still not working, but yeah, of course, there is an attempt, and actually the enemy to go through. With some conquistadors, but it's still going to be taking a bit of time, and with proper micro, Skull seems to be quite set up to actually deny the access for quite some time longer, with a double wall in right in place. He has enough monks, so potentially he could be actually converting quite a lot of them, because they are having just 6 range, monks are having 9, so he can be from quite nice safety actually luring those guys in and trying to convert them. Maybe he could be even stealing the petard. Let's see. Well, of course, right now Red has to retreat, and he has to go through this way, so he's gonna be losing at least 1. Yeah, 2 actually. Well, this is quite powerful. Yeah, and he will have to be quite worried right now, Dark Device, about coming through here, because the huge, or rather the big range is a big problem for him, as blue is even... Oh, he didn't get through the walls. That's the villager that was building the walls. He was converted. I was just for a moment confused what happened. But this is exactly what happened. Yeah, this guy, even though he couldn't stop the wall, he could steal the villager. Oh man, this is just too good. This is just too good. And RFRs are staring disaster in the face right about now, because all of those barracks being ready in here. Imperial Age coming for Yannick. Well, it's just not going to be good enough, because no Imperial Ages for RFRs. Bullet coming for the first one. Whereas CZ's already basically with 2 and already going through here. Well, nice quick wall in there, but unfortunately not gonna be standing for much longer, as Slugtown is just now as the first one getting into Imperial Age for RFRs, but it's going to be way too late, as all of this army is through, and the Imperial Age for Follow Your Might is going to be quite beastly. Has he actually been slunk? No, he hasn't, so that's basically a full-on skill on Black Forest for CZs, and it's basically confirming what I said at the start of the game, that CZs, they are quite capable on Black Forest, and it might not have been such a great choice by RFRs, aka Sweden A, to actually choose this map as their home, and all those monks in there. Yeah, just absolutely stealing all the villages in here. Oh well, that was a friendly fire. A friendly fire stealing even more villages, and they're probably going to be trying to build, I don't know what, maybe just some barracks. Yeah, monastery. This is just too good. Going for the stone in there. Nothing in the middle, of course. Just some mango rice getting ready for the yellow player. As of course in the mid, this converted villager from building the wall is going to be the disaster of Bullet. He's nicely walled off, but unfortunately he probably even forgot about the villager, and he's not ready for anything like this, as the Eagle Warriors are through, and I'm fairly certain that purple has to be wondering, where the hell did they get through? Well, he's at least having a few two-handed swordsmen, not yet, just long swordsmen. Well, that's like the only unit that he can right now use before he gets into Imperial Age and switches into some proper infantry, like the two-handed swordsman, of course, and the champions a bit later. But of course, right now being already into Spaden's base, who is going to be losing the economy, because the villagers cannot even get away from this position. They're just gonna be slaughtered by all of those conquistadors. They're just right now going for a slaughter in there, and well, of course, DC gonna die, and all the economy for Spaden is more or less toastish, because as a Mongol, he's at 58 villages, 45 of them idle. So you can kind of guess that without a Mongol, against a Mongol of Skull's caliber, or rather Skull, not, yeah, that's Skull. No, not Skull. Mongol is Yannick. Yannick is preparing here with all the castles. He is having economy of 129, which is the best in the game. So yeah, you can just guess what's gonna happen in the minutes to come. So very well played so far. By CZs, they are definitely controlling the game to quite a good effect. And this this monastery there has to be pretty annoying for the opponent, as they are still pushing through, but not really all that much and all that significantly, as apparently the monks are hidden somewhere, or have they died? Because I don't see them really, but they are right now pushing through, because they have gotten through the... Through what? I'm not sure how they got through, maybe through the bottom. Because I don't see any other way how they could have actually gotten through for Yannick. There wasn't anything, as Dark Device is coming through some... with some extra... petards, not sure what he wants to do, but of course, looking back at the battlefield on the left, the castle in the place of the town center, of course. That's good news, and yeah, he's even going to be stealing the food. He's even going to be stealing the food and the farms from Spaden. So basically, absolute assimilation of the enemy base, or rather enemy base into their gameplay. And well, not exactly sure what right now RFRs, aka Sweden, are hoping to achieve, because of course, those champions, not yet. Still two-handed swordsmen are going to be quite good, but not really good enough, especially considering all the conquistadors and the potential monks that could be stealing them. In the meantime, of course, the breached wall is going to be just a good opportunity for the champions to be, well, already been researched, to push forward in there, as Imperial Age is coming for Dark Device and Skull as well. And finally, Slugtown is going to be joining with some army, and the army is going to be quite nicely upgraded Elite Eagle Warriors. He's just missing the upgrade into the attack, but he's getting the onagers. So that's potentially going to be a bit of an issue for the monks that are going to be present, of course, still from Follow Your Mind. So Spaden has been more or less deleted, even though he's going to be rebuilding. It's going to be all up to his allies to actually right now somehow stabilize the game, which Slugtown was exactly attempting to do by his presence in there. But of course, GG is right now going to be called, because Slugtown, or rather, Skull with Yannick are knocking on the door on Dark Device, and on the left, this is just a bit too much to handle, and it seems like that the Conquistadors are going to be enough to get rid of even of the Eagle Warriors. And playing basically, yeah, the wall off is right now full, and those villages cannot escape anywhere, and they are just getting absolutely slaughtered all across the map. So yep, playing without Spaden, that wouldn't have gone in their way in any way. So yep, CZs have been able to conquer the whole map of RFR, aka Sweden A. That was not a good choice of the home map, and it means that they are inching into the lead to 1, and we are going to be heading into 2 last maps that are going to be preset. So home maps are behind us. Looking into the post game, Caesars just played this very correctly and very well. That was a well played Black Forest by them, and unfortunately RFRs, they were fairly surprised by what was coming for them and how fast it was actually coming. They didn't really count with that kind of speed, it seems like. You can see the beastly echo by Yannick. Well, that's one hell of echo, really. Really. And the fast advances into Imperial Ages without any kind of sling, even though Slugtown wasn't far behind. Just wasn't good enough for them. 151 villages. Good echo. GG.